You're sitting in your college dorm with a terrible toothache. The barber-surgeons terrify you. The doctors are too expensive. But there's another student down the hall who claims he can pull your tooth without pain, without blood, and without fear. What do? The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Pharma. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. John Bosco that can inspire you to grow closer to Christ and Our Lady. You're in a seminary in the 1800s, and one of your classmates becomes the go-to person for everything. Toothache? He'll fix it. Torn clothes? He'll patch them. Can't write your sermon? He'll write it for you. And you can't figure out your Latin homework? He'll tutor you for free. This is about something that you can use in your life today, because here's what I realized when I studied Don Bosco's seminary years. He discovered the secret to making every single interaction count for something bigger than himself. Don Bosco's presence in the seminary was so cheerful, so filled with genuine kindness, that his classmates said living with him felt like attending a continuous banquet. When's the last time that someone's presence made you feel that way? Or, when have you made someone else feel that way? He swept the floors when they needed sweeping. He carried heavy trunks when somebody needed help. And he patched torn clothes. He even repaired worn-out shoes. Now, you might think, okay, so he was the nice guy who everyone took advantage of. But his service didn't make him less respected. In fact, it made him more respected. The more he gave, the more people looked up to him. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Don Bosco became a kind of doctor, teacher, and even a sort of dentist. Imagine you're a seminarian with an aching tooth. You're terrified of the barber-surgeon with his crude tools and rough hands. You're lying awake at night. Your jaw is throbbing, dreading what you know you'll have to face when someone tells you, go see Bosco. He can pull teeth and nobody ever complains of pain. Somehow, this young seminarian figured out how to extract teeth so gently that his patients never felt a thing. No complaints, no horror stories. Bosco also possessed the gift of teaching. When students struggled with their lessons, they went to Don Bosco. He patiently explained concepts, created study notes, and lent his books to anyone who needed them, even though those books had cost him dearly. When seminarians were asked to preach but didn't know how to write a good sermon, Don Bosco wrote their sermons for them. You know what happened to all those handwritten sermons? All those notebooks filled with the future saints' words? They disappeared. So many people borrowed things from Don Bosco that his manuscripts were scattered and were lost forever. Think about that generosity. He poured his time and talent into creating something valuable, handed it over, and never expected to see it again. But Don Bosco wasn't some serious, studious monk who never smiled. He had what the ancient philosophers called eutrapelia, that perfect balance of joy and recreation that flows from inner peace. During recreation time, for example, he entertained everyone with puzzles, stories, and sleight of hand tricks. He could balance a stick on his thumb and spin it so skillfully that it seemed alive. He performed magic tricks, though his confessor, Don Bosco, had to warn him not to get too carried away with that particular talent. And you want to hear one of the best tricks? One day, John Bosco claimed that he could shave with a wooden razor. His friends scoffed. Impossible! A bet was made. They all rushed to his room, only to find him shaving with a regular razor. But where's the wooden razor? They demanded. Bosco smiled and asked, "What's my name?" "Bosco," they replied. "And what does Bosco mean in the Italian dialect?" They groaned. "Oh, wood. Then this is Bosco's razor. A wooden razor." The room erupted in laughter. It was clever, wholesome fun that revealed the wit of a man whose happiness lifted up everyone around him. His command of languages amazed everyone. He could improvise verses in Latin and French and Italian and Piedmontese, and sometimes he would switch languages mid-poem. His improvisations weren't perfect in structure, but they were stunning in effect. His fellow seminarians called him the extemporaneous poet. And here's what's even more remarkable. Even in his humor, his poetry, and his games, Don Bosco never wasted a moment. Every carol emphasized faith, gratitude, or morality. Every amusing story contained a moral lesson. Old friends from Chieri would visit him on Thursdays, and they brought their notebooks and asked for help. And then they left with corrected lessons and a spiritual thought to carry with them. Notice what's happening here. Don Bosco was already living his priesthood before he was even ordained. He was already a shepherd, a teacher, a servant of souls. And here's the shocking truth. All of this happened before his great mission with the orphans of Turin, before the Salesians, before all the prophecies were fulfilled, before the miraculous dreams. He was already transforming lives as a young seminarian. So here's what strikes me about Don Bosco's seminary years. He figured out how to make every single talent serve a higher purpose. He didn't hoard his gifts. He didn't use them just for himself. The dentistry, the tutoring, the entertainment, the writing, all of it became a way to serve others and point them towards God. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We want to share Don Bosco's story so that his example can inspire you to use your own gifts more intentionally. If Don Bosco's story has moved you today, I want to invite you to become a monthly promoter of St. John Bosco. When you join our community, you're not just supporting this channel, you're joining a family of souls who want to grow closer to this incredible saint. And to show our gratitude for your help, we'll remember you daily in a traditional Catholic Mass and daily rosaries for you and your intentions. You'll receive Crusade magazine delivered to your mailbox filled with inspiring stories and Catholic devotion. You'll receive beautiful spiritual resources like images of Our Lady Help of Christians and St. John Bosco, plus books of Don Bosco's own writings. To join this community and receive these gifts, just click the link in the description box down below. Your support makes these videos possible and helps us to share Don Bosco's wisdom with even more people. Don Bosco showed us that every talent you have, no matter how small or strange it might seem, can become a way to serve others and point them towards something greater. What's one gift or skill that you have that you could use more intentionally to serve others this week? Maybe you're good at listening. Maybe you can fix things. Maybe you're funny. And maybe you can lift someone's spirits. Think about it. And drop your gifts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you come up with. And if you want to see how a childhood mistake taught young Don Bosco a very expensive lesson about seeking wise counsel, click the video on your screen right now. It's called The Turkey Thief Who Taught Young Don Bosco the Most Expensive Life Lesson. Thank you for watching. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.